Welcome to the Mom as Well podcast, where we are digging deep into the gifts and the gaps of foster and adoptive parenting. I'm Tara Hutton, and I'm glad you're here. Mama's Well. Yes, she is. Hey guys, welcome to Mom as Well. Let me just say, I keep saying the gifts and the gaps of foster and adoptive parenting, but this is not just about foster and adoptive parenting. This is about parenting. This is about reparenting places in me that definitely have needed some attention and some reparenting. And these beautiful children that we have in our lives are bringing our awareness to those places, and huge gift if we can begin to see it that way. So that's what this podcast is about. It is about recognizing that we have one person that we are in control of and that we can shift and change. And that's us. And the byproduct of us doing this work is often, not always, is often other people do the same, right? We invite other people to do the same. And so, but we don't do it for that reason. We don't do it for that reason. We do it because we need it, right? We need it. And so that's what this parenting podcast is about. It is about reparenting first and foremost ourselves. And so if you are interested, if you're intrigued, if that makes you curious, I hope you'll stick around. And so because that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm also going to tell you right now, I'm no expert. I'm just a fellow journeyer, journeyman, journeywoman, whatever you want to call it. I'm on the same journey. And so I am clumsily working through my stuff. I will add bravely in front of you. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about something that it is just, I can't, it won't go away. It keeps showing up for me. And last week's podcast, I think it was last week's, where I talked about we can't fix our kiddos. Can't fix people. Yeah, that's still true. It's still true. And so I wanted to talk about I want to go a little bit deeper with that. And this may take me several episodes to try to uncover all my thoughts and get them out clearly. But right now we're in the middle of a Read and Connect. And we're reading a book called Parenting from the Inside Out by Dr. Dan Siegel and Dr. Mary Hartzell. Great book. The premise of the book is about attachment. It's about attachment, but it's about recognizing our own attachment, our adult attachment. We all have an attachment style. And the bottom line is we are either secure in our attachments with people in the world, or we're insecure. And I wouldn't say that once we get in the secure bucket, we never fall into the insecure bucket, or if we're in the insecure bucket, we don't have some relationships in our life that we feel secure in. I mean, I don't think this is a really black and white situation. I think becoming aware of what attachment is, what it looks like, what it feels like, recognizing relationships that we are more secure in, relationships that are less secure in is super powerful and super healthy, and that we're all moving towards more secure relationships. So in this book and in this group that we have, that's amazing, by the way. And if you haven't been a part of a group of people who are on your same journey, dealing with your same struggles, are trying to do the same work as you are, I cannot tell you how valuable it is. It is incredibly powerful. It has been incredibly powerful for me, and I know it has been for these other women. So if you haven't done that, we'd love to have you be a part of one we're leading. But find your village, find your people, find your network, and plug in, because it will be a game changer for you. So anyway, in this group, we're talking a lot about our own attachment styles as a child, and as an adult, and right now. It's always moving, right? We're always moving towards that healthier security. And what it says in our book is that the best predictor of children moving through trauma, create having, and we move through, the way that we move through trauma, it's not what happens to us, it's how we make sense of it. And the best predictor of someone being able to make sense of that and move through trauma is to have at least one person in their life that they feel seen and heard, by, one relationship in which they have a secure attachment. That is one of the most powerful things that we can give our children, is somebody, hopefully it's us, that can really see them and can feel them and experience with them. That is secure attachment, and that is connection. And connection trumps trauma. We can move through connection. We can move through trauma when we have a secure connection. So attachment is super important. And this past summer, I took a class, a circle of security class, to become a circle of security parenting facilitator, group facilitator, which I will be leading at some point in the future, some groups. One of the things I learned in that group, in that class that I took, was that our attachment, whether we have an insecure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, a secure attachment, and then there's these other kinds, what I just mentioned, of insecure attachments, whatever kind of attachment we have, let's just dump it in two buckets, a secure or insecure. That is formed before we even have our explicit memory, our memory that we can recall. It's formed before we have much language. And so before we were a year old is what they say, that we have already developed our attachment style. An attachment style is the way you do relationships, and that is, that's for the rest of your life. That pattern, that kind of personality, if you want to call it that, is established before you're a year old. And you take that in to all of your relationships. Okay. Whether you feel safe in a relationship, that's attachment. Whether you feel authentic and like you can be all of you in a relationship is your attachment. When you feel like you can, that's called secure. When you feel like you can't, that's insecure. And so that's can be good and bad, right? If you have this amazing first year where you felt seen, you felt heard, you felt safe, you felt cared for, you're going to have a secure attachment, and you're going to walk into other relationships until they prove you wrong with that same sense of security. Okay. Doesn't mean that you don't bump into a relationship that just rips that from you. And then you might move into a very insecure attachment. Okay. But you can also have a very insecure attachment as a child, like I did, and you can move and you can develop relationships in your young adulthood or your adulthood that help you move from an insecure attachment to a secure attachment. For example, my husband. So when I first met my husband, he would go to hug me and I would curl in, like into fetal position. And obviously he didn't like that much. So he compassionately would take my arms and he would wrap my arms around him and let me hug him, right? Help me hug him. Help me open up and receive and give. He helped me build a secure attachment. And over the years, he was a safe place for me. So I began to build a secure attachment. And then I had a friend that helped me build a secure attachment. A way that it showed up for me with my friends, I just showed you how it showed up for my insecure attachment, showed up for my husband, but way it showed up for my friends is until about maybe 15 years ago, I made all my friends pursue me. So, and the reason why, and I was somewhat conscious of it, is that if I pursued, I felt like I would become too much for them, or, a burden on them, or they would just begin to not like me. Like if you know all of me, if you know all of Tara, you're not really going to like her. Right. So what that made me do is stay guarded. And if you wanted to be my friend, you had to knock my door down. You want to go to coffee? You want to go to lunch? You want to do this? But did I reach back out? Did I hug like I would, like my husband was asking me to do? Did I reach back out and pull friends closer to me? No way. I was too scared. I didn't want to be that exposed. I didn't want to have my arms open to them. I was barely doing it with my husband. So I made people pursue me. And I had a friend that moved away. And when she told me she was going to move away, I had let myself get close with her. I told her, I was aware enough to say, you know what, I think what I'm going to do. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to write you off. And I did. And it was hurtful for her. I knew I was doing it and I couldn't stop it. And so after that friendship, and luckily she understood and we came back and worked through it, but another friend showed up that was pursuing me. And I decided that I was going to learn from this person that was pursuing me at this time. And I was going to learn how to be a friend. And I did that. And she would pursue me, and then I would make myself pursue back. So this is how attachment shows up in adult relationships, romantic relationships, like the one with my husband, but then also in my friendships. When we don't feel safe in relationships, we don't let ourselves be vulnerable. We don't let ourselves be seen. We don't let ourselves really be authentic. And that is not a real relationship. That's just performance. And honestly, it's exhausting. Okay. Now it's really going to get juicy now, because that attachment also shows up in parenting. And, when I tend to think I have what they refer to as an anxious attachment. Okay. I'm always uncertain, right? I'm always anxious about the safety of my relationship. I have anxiety about it. Okay. It's not that I'm avoiding it. I want to be in it, but I'm scared, right? I'm always scared. I'm always testing, judging, watching, what's happening on the outside, not what's happening on the inside, what's happening out here. Like, do you look disappointed? Did you say something that, made me think you were disappointed in me? And if so, retreat, right? Okay. That's an anxious attachment. That's what I feel I have. So when you have an anxious attachment, for me, I've tended to focus on everybody outside of myself and how they are doing. Right. So the interesting thing about this, and I keep bringing it up, but I'm getting clearer now. This looks a lot like codependency. When a codependent, in recovery, the codependent is, I'm just going to use like what the thing we know. This person is always trying to fix the addict, right? We're always trying to fix the one who's struggling. Like, we'll change to make them change. We're going to set up this rule. We're going to do that rule. We're going to do all these things, right? We're always trying to get this person out here to be okay. I was trying to get my father to be okay. I was trying to make my parents happy. All these things I'm trying to do. And you lose yourself. You lose yourself. And in order to try to change them. Why? Because I'll feel safe if you're okay. I'll feel like I'm a good mom if you're okay. I'll feel like I am loved if you're not disappointed in me or in something else, right? I'm basing my okayness on somebody else. And that is completely exhausting, completely exhausting and incredibly frustrating and leaves you very, 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 very angry. Um, in parenting, it can leave you feeling like a victim. Okay. Like, um, I'm doing all of this and you're still not happy. I have worked so hard. I have learned all this stuff about trauma and you still haven't changed. It's all about, you know, I, you're responsible for everything and everybody. And that's exhausting. And you get left feeling like you're stuck, like you're in a prison cell, like you have no life. But the truth is, I gave it away. I gave it away to try to change somebody else. And I just think it was interesting. It's interesting to think about that. I know this codependency, was showing up for me in parenting. And I think it goes back to attachment. Um, and I think my efforts to try to fix, to try to learn, to try to understand, even in this podcast, to bring in people, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. What's the best way? How do I get through to my daughter? How do I connect with her? It makes her the project. It makes her the thing that needs to be fixed. And thankfully, she's rejected it. I have two daughters. And one of them, thank goodness, is rejecting this. And I get it. I get it. I so get it. She doesn't want to be fixed. And the funny thing is, it shows up for me in my relationship with Kyle. Kyle is a 7 on the Enneagram. We've talked about that, but everything is, let's play the glad game. If you've ever seen, I think it's Pollyanna. And let's turn this around. Let's refocus. Let's reframe. What can I do? How can I solve this? Who can we hire? All of these things. And I bless his heart. It's all in effort to help me. He wants to help me. But what I can feel at times is, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why? Obviously, if someone's trying to fix you, there's something wrong. And so that is a very panicky place. It's full of shame. Why can't I get this right? And I don't like being left feeling like that. What I need from him is that's great to offer, okay, we're going to get you a sitter, or we're going to get this, or I get all of that. And I want all of that. Don't get me wrong, Kyle, if you're listening, I want all those things. What I want first is I want him in this instance, to say, gosh, I totally understand. I totally understand that you are feeling burdened. I totally understand that you're feeling trapped, stuck. I totally understand you're feeling so responsible. And how can I help? Wow. And the funny thing is, it turns it back on me to come up with a solution. And once I feel heard, once I feel like I'm not alone, when shame hasn't had an opportunity to come in and steal from me, I'm creative with my own solutions. And that's amazing. What if we could do the same with our kids? What if we could do the same with our kids? What if, instead of coming up with their solutions for them, with trying to fix, trying to, not TBRI, all of the trauma is all great. It is all amazing. Unless we use it to try to fix something broken. It's not to fix broken people. It's to connect with broken people. And what I just said, I got to say that again. That was really powerful. It's not to fix broken people. It's to connect with broken people because we're all broken. Wow. That was good. Thank you. Thank you, God, for that. That was good. I want to be connected with in my brokenness. My daughter wants to be connected with in her brokenness. The girls, the ladies in our group, we want to connect in our brokenness. We do not want to fix each other. And sometimes we might accidentally trickle some of that in, but that's not really what we're doing there. We're connecting in our brokenness. And then we walk away. We feel empowered. We feel understood. And the creative solutions just flow. And that's what has been happening for me. I am recognizing my precious daughter does not want to be my project. She does not want me to try to figure out what approach is going to make her change or shift. She wants me to feel her, to see her, and to understand her. And sometimes that doesn't even require words. That's it. That's it. I want to keep talking about this because this is big. Recognizing our attachment style, what that triggers in us, safety. When we're in secure attachment, we need other people. From me, let me just rephrase this, Tara, so you understand it. But your anxious attachment, your fear that you're going to be left, that those people aren't going to love, that they're not going to stay for you, keeps you on eggshells, keeps you juggling, right? Keeps me juggling to make everybody okay, to fix everybody so that they're going to be okay with me, so they won't leave me. What if I could come inside and let them do what they need to do? Let them be upset. Let them be anxious. Let them be frustrated. Doesn't mean I'm not there for them, but I got to come soothe inside where I'm feeling all anxious because they are. Like, that's my responsibility. That is what taking care of ourselves is. That is what reparenting ourselves is. And I want to continue this. We're going to continue this conversation. I want to really talk about what does it mean to care for ourselves when our kids need so much care. What does that mean? Hint, it means it's not about manicures and pedicures and massage, although those are lovely, wonderful things. It is about asking ourselves, why do you feel afraid? Why are you feeling afraid right now? What do you need? What do you need? Okay, we're gonna go some more on this, but thanks for joining us. I'm gonna stop right there because I gotta go journal. I gotta ponder that. That was some really good stuff there. I need to dig deeper there. I have some things I want to uncover. Guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for doing your work. Thanks for staying at the table when it's hard. Thanks for staying at the end of this podcast. I appreciate it. And I hope that you are connected somewhere. I would love to connect with you. Email me, tara@mamaswell.com. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your stories. And we'll see you next week. Have a great one.
Mama's Way.